Built of rubble, Menstrie Castle first and foremost is not a castle, but a baronial mansion house, although has been known as castle for many years. It boasts a distinctive pepperpot turret resting on corbels and a crow-stepped gable, as well as its original 16th century entrance arch that once led to a pend. Originally the house was quite small, extending north to south on the south side of Menstrie, but was extended with the addition of 2 wings and a curtain wall, which created a large courtyard. To the north of the castle was once a tree-lined enclosure, with gardens and an orchard to the south, but these are long gone. The first record of its existence was in 1322, when it was owned by Dougal Campbell, a member of the Clan Campbell of Argyll. The Argyll Campbells found the house to be comfortable, and it soon became a firm favourite with them. However, in the 16th century, the house was sold to the local Alexander family. In 1526, the title was transferred to Andrew Alexander, a local landowner, and it's thought his son, Andrew, built part of the 3-storey house that can be seen today. By this time, the house had been extended, so instead of its original L-plan shape, it had become U-shaped. It was here in 1567 that Sir William Alexander, poet and courtier, was born. He became a close friend of James VI, then acted as Secretary of State for Scotland during the reign of his son, Charles I. He went on to colonise Nova Scotia in Canada, where he became its first Governor-General. He was granted the barony of Menstrie in 1597 by Archibald Campbell, the 7th Earl of Argyll, and became the first Earl of Stirling in 1633. Known as the Good Man of Menstrie, Alexander died in London in 1644, and by that time was bankrupt, owing £200. Royalist supporter James Graham, the first Marquess of Montrose, arrived in Menstrie in 1645 during the English Civil War and burned the village. In August that year, the Covenanters under the Marquess of Argyll, Archibald Campbell, burned the house as they chased Montrose. In 1649, the house was sold by creditors to James Holborn, a Major General in the Scottish Army, and above the main door was the family's coat of arms, which have since been moved to the gable end of a house near Nova Scotia Gardens in the village. The Holborns were created baronets of Menstrie in 1706. In 1719, the house was sold by his grandson, James Holborn, 1st Baronet of Nova Scotia, to the local Abercrombie family of Tullibody, but by the late 1800s it had pretty much become derelict, with fire destroying it in 1950. The last person to inhabit the old house was William Kerr, who died on 8th August 1939, aged 91. Clackmannan County Council tried to drum up interest to save the building in 1947, but nothing came of it. In 1956, the Landward Committee of Clackmannan County Council earmarked the building to be demolished to make way for new housing, even though it was designated as being of significant national importance. Neither the Ministry of Works nor the Historic Buildings Council had funding to preserve it, and things looked bleak. One suggestion came from the Mayor of Halifax in Nova Scotia, Leonard Kitts, and that was that it could be moved stone by stone to Canada and reconstructed there, while another, from the Earl of Mar and Kelly in October 56, was that it could have been converted into a community centre or into flats. In December 1956, the National Trust launched a public appeal for funds to restore the house, and this was launched by Captain James P. Younger, the Lord Lieutenant of Clackmannanshire. By that point, an anonymous donation of £1,000 had been received. In March 1957, actor and campaigner Menstrie also began to campaign to save the building and was instrumental in saving it from being reduced to rubble. In the end, the castle was restored by Clackmannanshire County Council under the auspices of the county architect, William Higgins Henry, winning the Scottish Civic Trust Award in 1962 for its sympathetic renovation, although the 17th century extension was demolished. A year earlier, on Monday 10 April 1961, Thomas Galbraith, the Parliamentary Under-Secretary, officially opened the Menstrie Place redevelopment, which included the castle. £9,500 was spent on its redevelopment, with 4 homes being provided in it. These were a 2-apartment flat, 2 3-apartment maisonettes, and 1 5-apartment maisonette. In 1962, the commemoration room, now part of the museum, was officially opened. Today, the building is used as private accommodation, holiday accommodation, and there is a small museum run by the National Trust for Scotland, giving a short history of the building and its former inhabitants. These include Sir Ralph Abercrombie. Abercrombie had been born in Menstrie Castle in October 1734 and went on to become a soldier who saw action during the 7 Years' War, the French Revolutionary Wars, and the invasion of Egypt in an attempt to gain it from Napoleonic France for the British. He was fatally wounded at the successful Battle of Aboukir and died at Alexandria on 28 March 1801. As for the mayor, Kitts, he had to be satisfied with 23 stones from the house being shipped to Canada from Alloa for the construction of a memorial cairn to William Alexander in Victoria Park in Halifax. Menstrie Castle was Category A listed by what is now Historic Environment Scotland on 9th June 1960. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.